Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salute to the hopeful elect, pushing this word in truth and sincerity, hoping to receive mercy from Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. Yahweh is the name of our Heavenly Father, that's who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is the name of his only begotten Son, and that's who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. These so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Latinos, we are the Israelites, that's according to the prophecies of the Holy Scriptures. This is the brother Shamar from the GMS Jamaica camp, and I'm here to do a lesson, pray to edifying one on the topic of homelessness, especially among our women, because as we face harsh economic realities, it was announced recently Trump has increased, tariffs on certain countries, including here in Jamaica, that would make exports more expensive, which essentially will make the cost of living and will make the times harder. The economic times are going to get even tougher than they are right now. And this is how it will be as we march towards Jacob's trouble, as we march towards prophecy, the MOTB, when he will cause all, both great, small, great, rich, poor, to receive that mark, that charagma. We're going to see harsh and hard to bear times taking place, and it's going to really affect the weaker vessel more, more than others, man. And we see that playing out. So let me read this article and get some precepts. I pray it's edifying. This is from BMC Public Health, dated September 9, 2024, exploring the impact of housing insecurity, that's homelessness or eviction rates, on the health and well-being of children and young people in the UK, a qualitative systematic review. And of course, we live in a global world. So, things that affect women in the UK, things that affect people in one part of the world, there's a high chance that it will affect you at one point or another in another part of the world. So I'll read this article. Housing insecurity can be understood as experiencing or being at risk of multiple house moves that are not through choice and related to poverty. Many aspects of housing have all been shown to impact children, young people's health and well-being. However, the pathways linking housing and childhood health and well-being are complex and poorly understood. We undertook a systematic review, synthesizing qualitative data on the perspectives of children/young people and those close to them from the UK, and we researched databases, reference lists, and UK grey literature. We extracted and tabulated key data, blah, blah, blah. Let me get to the results. We included 59 studies and identified 4 populations: those experiencing housing insecurity in general, associated with domestic violence, associated with migration status, and due to demolition-related forced relocation. Housing insecurity took many forms and resulted from several interrelated situations, including eviction or forced move, temporary accommodation, exposure to problematic behavior, overcrowded, poor condition, unsuitable property, and making multiple moves. Impacts included school-related, psychological, financial, and family well-being impacts, daily long-distance travel, and poor living conditions, all of which could further exacerbate housing insecurity. People perceive that these experiences lead to mental and physical health problems, tiredness, and delayed development. The impact of housing insecurity was lessened by friendship and support. That's a key one I want to get back to, friendship and support. Because women were created, to be a helpmate for a man. They're supposed to cohabitate, cleave to each other, and that would be the friendship and support that the Lord, Yahweh Bashim has provided, But let me read on. Staying at the same school, having hope for the future, and parenting practices. The negative impacts of housing insecurity on child, adolescent health, and well-being may be compounded by specific life circumstances such as escaping domestic violence, migration, or demolition-related relocation. In conclusion, housing insecurity has a profound impact on children and young people. Policies should focus on reducing housing insecurity among families, particularly in relation to reducing eviction, improving and reducing the need for temporary accommodation, minimum requirements for property condition, and support to reduce multiple and long distance moves. These, working with children, young people, and families experiencing housing insecurity, should prioritize giving them optimal choice and control over situations that affect them. All right. So housing insecurity affects a lot of people, but especially the weaker vessel, which is what I'm going to focus on this lesson, and children. So the women and children are going to be affected that much more. Why? Uh, Look at the demographics. There's more women than men. So just based off the raw numbers, it's going to affect them more. And because they're also the weaker vessel, you know, not used to dealing with the stress as well as the men, it's going to affect them even harder, right? And it's going to affect the development of the children as well, you know, which impacts the outlook for the future, because the children are the future, right? And we see that in this article, it's a lot of it is related to poverty, you know, and that's the part I'm going to focus on. So this is Isaiah 32 verse 2. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So a man shall be a hiding place, shall be offer that protection, you know, that covering for a woman and the child, right? That is the way the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yashai has set it up. And from a practical standpoint, they just help to, in this modern world, a man will cohabitating with a woman, you know, they can help each other to pay these exorbitant rent that's going up. A lot of people pay rent nowadays, and the cost of living in general is going up, and just having someone to split these bills with, plus offer protection, security, and all of that, it only makes sense for a woman and a man to cohabitate. But a lot, you know, because of feminism, a lot of women have bought into the concept that they don't need a man, they don't need that covering, you know. But the reality of the situation is that the economics that's causing the poverty, you know, it demands that our cohabitation and help, that people help each other to share these bills, you know. So as a result of that pride, thinking you don't need a man, a lot of it's going to lead to homelessness, man, you know. But for righteous women, a man shall be a hiding place, you know, from the wind, from the destruction, from the hard to bear times that are coming, man. A lot of it going to be caused by poverty, man. Micah 2 verse 9. The woman of my people have ye cast out from their pleasant houses, from their children have ye taken away my glory forever. Now let me get this in the NLT as well. Micah 2 verse 9. This is Micah 2 verse 9 in the NLT. You have evicted women from their pleasant homes, and further stripped their children of all that Yahweh would give them. You know, and a lot of that eviction that we've been alluding to, you know, is causing that housing insecurity. It's due to poverty, due to hard to bear, the economic times that we're in. A lot of these women who single don't need no man, right? They can't afford to keep paying the exorbitant rent. And it's going to result in this being fulfilled, that they've been evicted from their pleasant homes. And we see that playing out, you know, a lot. You know, creating the housing insecurity the article alluded to. I'll get one more precept. Back to Isaiah 32. I'll jump to verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Yeah, so a lot of these the prosperous times we've been in, when victuals were so good cheap, you know, You received that aid, those subsidies from the government. You received, you're allowed to, get these posh jobs, that you don't need no man, you could live this independent lifestyle. All that is coming to an end, man. All that is coming to an end right now. And a righteous man of the Lord shall be a covering place for a righteous woman in that day. you know so I pray this lesson was edifying. All praise is glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yashai Bashem Akakodash, and shalom to the elect.